Pardon me.
Welcome to the Alabama Auburn Show. What's up, J Dub?
Well,
well,
it was a tough. It was a tough week for the Auburn Tigers.
Look, I wasn't going to talk about that because that's not my side.
No, go ahead and talk about the greatness that is the University of Alabama, who
for 3 quarters struggled. What's the matter?
We'll talk after the show.
Someone I need to address online. Oh, okay. What's up, Kevin?
So Alabama did what they had to do, right? You don't always have your best stuff, right? So, but before we get into anything Alabama and Auburn, I need to take a opportunity.
Okay.
If I can, I need to take a liberty.
Take a liberty. I like liberties.
So during the Westbrook Steve Smith coaches show yesterday,
There we go.
Hand up. What I can Steve? I made a mistake.
You did?
I did. I made a mistake. Which, according to my wife, happens multiple times a day.
Facts.
So I mistakenly said that the last 2 times that Westbrook and Locust Fort had played, that Locust Fort won those games handedly. Not so fast, my friend. It was just the opposite. Westbrook won the last 2 games. The one in 2020, which was here in Rainbow City. Westbrook won that game 50-14.
Okay.
And in 21, Westbrook at Locust Fort won that game 48-10. So as I look at my Westbrook Christians, please accept this apology for my mistake. I own it. I apologize.
He did come in. He was a little remorseful today.
I was.
A little tear in his eye.
No, well, I would go that far. But I never want to give bad information. And I wasn't as prepared. It's been a long week for me, bro. No excuses. I'm not one to make excuses. That's not what I do.
No, guys, no.
Never make excuses. But I got it incorrect, and I apologize. And I'm hoping that score trend continues.
You spent too much time on this. He's sorry.
I'm sorry.
Forget about it. If you don't, he really don't care. But he made a mistake.
The people who complain to Coach Steve Smith, I'm sorry, but most of you have my number. Please feel free to reach out.
One thing that was so funny is when you said, look, I made a mistake, and you told me what it was. You said, Jeff, but I was reading it. And I read it wrong.
I did.
Why?
Because I have the information in front of me, but when you go back and forth between the different schools, and sometimes on this computer, when I get down to the information, you don't see, you just see a score.
Yeah.
And a team. So again, my apologies to the Westbrook faithful. I hope you guys dominate tomorrow.
Yeah, man, they're gonna do some work tomorrow.
Now,
I'm proud of them.
Now,
do work.
Let's get to. This is the Alabama Auburn Show, brought to you by Fully Loaded.
So Alabama in their 42-16 victory over South Florida. The defense, to me, was the standout. I know the score. You got to look at the change. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the defense was the standout, right? And they did a good job containing USF's running backs, and they kept them to about 100 yards, 102 yards. And they put pressure constantly on Brown, which we knew, and you had even talked about that kid as a dual threat, right? You got to make him one-dimensional, and they did a good job with that. Alabama made some horrific, stupid, diddly, dumb penalties on the offensive side of the ball, seemingly for 3 straight quarters, and they started off in the 4th quarter doing that very same thing, and then the young man was yanked out of the game and began to run that ball up that same side where he was yanked out of the game, and what do you know? Lo and behold, they put up, was it 28 points? 28 points in the 4th quarter. They put up, so instead of being 14-13 at one point, Alabama ended up pulling away. But man, they got to get a handle on those things, man.
It was not. The game was much closer than the score indicates. It really was. Somebody just looking through the scores and Bama did what they should have done. They took it easy on South Florida. That was not the case. That was a hard fought. South Florida is a very good team, and it's a matchup nightmare with Alabama for whatever reason. Last year was the same way, right? Very sluggish.
Tied at halftime, right? 3-3 last year.
Milroe didn't play in that game, though.
I don't know.
To be fair,
It was
Tyler Buckner started the game. Then they brought in the other white kid. I don't remember his name. The other white kid. That's all I know.
Yeah, the white boy makes some noise. Well, Jalen Milroe did what Jalen Milroe does. He passed 2 touchdowns, and your boy Jammy Jam Miller got him a 56-yard touchdown run, and that's kind of sealed the deal. So
how did Ryan Williams look in that game?
You don't ask me because I don't know. My stats right now literally are gone.
This internet.
Well,
it's Gig City. Sorry, Joe.
We're not as smart as it seems. Thanks, Gig City.
Gig City.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I was getting to the stats, and I literally got to Jalen Milroe's, and it's gone. All we got to do is let's tether off on my phone and go right there. How about that, big fella?
Do what you got to do, player. Well, he had.
What did you think?
I think Ryan Williams, man, a 17-year-old kid, right? Stepped up big. He had 2 touchdowns his first game. Yeah. Of course, that was a 63-0. But still, you got a 17-year-old kid. Should be a high school senior right now.
200. Let's see.
So he had 4 receptions for 68 yards and a touchdown.
There it is, right? He's totaled 207, I think, right? So the last game was what? Say it again,
68 yards for 4 and a touchdown.
Nice.
Caught 4 for 68. Hey, Kevin Stevens, that's right, man. Overlooking him. I'd say that, but you're overlooking South Florida for Wisconsin? Wisconsin's not very good. I think they're going to be very good in a few years. Very good. Only thing that has me worried for this game is Bama doesn't tend to really get going on an early kick.
That's fair.
And this is 11 o'clock kick.
Yep.
Well, I say that in the past. Kevin DeBoer era may be different. I hope it is. I think I'm not a big Wisconsin fan. Wisconsin's 2-0.
Are they still pushing out big-time offensive lines?
Now,
I mean,
they will, but
right.
It's tough to get into Wisconsin and get a kid to leave the state. They do a good job with that, a very good job with that. But I digress. You were talking about this past game. I'm sorry.
No, we're just moving on. I mean, there were not a whole lot to talk about this last game. I mean, obviously, your Jalen Milroe is going to do what he does. But this Wisconsin game, you're looking till 11 o'clock here. SEC against Big Ten. It's going to be hard fought in the trench part. I mean, they're always about offensive lines and in the running game. They don't have a lot of speed. Not a lot of speed at all. Alabama has got to do work. It's right here what it says. It came back. So we got to do work early. When you kick off, you've got to, and it's at Camp Randall Stadium.
Yeah, that's a tough place,
right?
Yeah, it's a real home field advantage for sure.
Alabama is looks like a 16.5 point favorite in this game. The over under is 50.5. Do you take that? What do you take?
I go over.
You go over.
Yeah.
Think Alabama's going to hang 40?
Maybe a little more.
A little more than that.
From my understanding, from talking to a couple people in Tuscaloosa, practice has been very, very tough, very hard, and the expectation that DeBoer has for this team, because they have one of the best rosters in the country, regardless of who's coaching. The roster didn't change that much. You got some studs, and Ryan Williams, I think, is going to run loose at Camp Randall, man. I do.
Well, I mean, Jalen Milroe's completing 65% of his passes. He's passed for 394 yards, 5 touchdowns so far. He's 22 carries, 81 yards. But he's slinging the ball, and you've got a guy like Ryan Williams that can get beyond coverage.
He's so good.
And Jalen throws a good deep ball, right?
He's so good, man.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, and Jam Miller is averaging 9, almost 10 yards a carry.
Pajama jammy jam, son.
Jammy jam. And defensively, I mean, our safeties are looking good. Our safety's looking good. I mean, we're doing okay. So I look for Alabama to go in, like you said, cover. I think they're going to cover the points. I think the end of this game, you're going to be looking at Alabama is going to be 42 to 21. I think we got some holes and some things we got to work on, but that's what I think.
I don't necessarily think you have holes. I think it's still early in the season, and I think some things hadn't came together. But if if you wager for fun, right, for entertainment, I would.
That's all you do.
I would be okay with the over and Alabama to cover this convincingly.
Kevin Stevens says Alabama 52, the Badgers 17. Sounds like a good score.
Yeah, I probably couldn't argue that. I probably could. I mean, Wisconsin is going to be. They're trying to get back to the Wisconsin of old, and I think they're on the right track. I think they got a good coach. Give him a couple more years to recruit, get his people in. He's got some great assistant coaches. Yeah, man, I think they are headed in the right direction. With that being said, I think Bama does what Bama does.
Well, your Auburn Tigers are hosting New Mexico.
Yeah.
Talk about last week and then what you look for this week.
Here's what it comes down to me. The fan base, the national media. I'm talking all the podcasts, the Locked on Auburn podcast with Zach Blackerby. I'm talking about Daryl Dappridge for the radio and the radio legend down in Montgomery. I'm talking about Charlie Five, the new Barner podcast, right? All these guys were so arrogant in the fact that how well they're going to do, what they're going to do to Cal. They were overlooking Cal, right? You played Alabama A&M, and you beat them like you should have. Look, Peyton Thorne is not the guy. He is who we thought he was. He was not the guy last year. Nothing has changed with him. He is not the guy. He's just not very good. He's not good. He sucks. If your season, from an Auburn standpoint, and I've watched every clip I could possibly watch of him, why Hugh Freeze hung tied himself with Peyton Thorne. This is my guy. Right. I like his skill set. This is what he's going to do. Okay, sometimes it's time to cut bait, right, for you fishermen. Cut bait. Sometimes it's punting, which Auburn does quite a good bit of right now. He is not the guy. I would take either of the three guys behind him. I think Hank Brown plays pretty well, right? He is the backup. Hank Brown is pretty good, in my opinion. Walker White, the third guy. Walker White will get there, right? He is going to be the quarterback of the future, I believe. But Hank Brown's pretty impressive. He's got great arm strength. Receivers are great. You're trying to, in decision making, you're trying to throw. Peyton Thorne's trying to throw the ball to a hurt Cam Coleman. Bro.
Dude, you sound super not happy.
I'm not, and it's just not good. Let me give you the stats for last week's game. First, let me give you the stats for the Alabama A&M game. Right? let me poke my chest out. 13 of 21. That's not very good, really. No. Right? It's okay. 62% completion. You'll take that. 322 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interception. Now you go against Cal, a team that this whole offseason you just counted as a win, right? You counted as a win. We're going to look past them. You barely won last year at Cal. Barely. So you thought, hey, it's going to be easy, no problem. Okay, well, your starting quarterback comes in and goes 14 for 27 for 165 and 4 interceptions. 4. Barely over 50% completion percentage. He got sacked 3 times.
3. Say it again.
3. Okay, the offensive line sucks a little bit too. Let's be fair. But he did throw a touchdown pass. You're a quarterback in a Hugh Freeze RPO offense. You should be throwing 3 or 4 touchdowns a game.
Come on.
Your decision-making skills is horrible. Kind of like when Ken married Faye. He made a bad decision. Right? It happens. But then you just go on with it, right? You got to make the best of it because you're married, right?
Sure.
Hugh Freeze has married. His reputation is now with Peyton Thorne. And it should have been 5, Kevin. Mm-hmm. It was 5. It was a bogus penalty call.
Bro,
sorry.
You just had a heart cat too, son. What
I
are you doing?
I did. It's just pretty bad. And I feel bad for the Rick Neals of the world, for the Suzanne Weatherwaxes, the true Auburn people who don't buy into the hype, right? Who just love the program and they warned me. They warned me.
So let me ask you this:
Yeah.
somebody's going to ask, right?
Yeah.
They're going to say, "Is Jerry a little bitter about what's going on with Notre Dame?"
You're damn right. How do you lose to NIU? Look, our quarterback up there, Riley Leonard. We paid all this money. I don't give a piss he's from Fairhope, Alabama. Okay, who cares? He should have went to Auburn.
Oh, my gosh.
All this money. Yeah, he gets hurt. He's got a torn labrum in his shoulder, right? Hurts early on. But we have a legitimate running back crew, right? Our running back room is stacked. And we run their quarterback 10 times, get him hurt, and we lose the game. What in the holy... Stop it. Auburn and Notre Dame are the same team this year. The same team.
Oh, my God. Oh, I just had to go off screen for a minute. I was about to die. Oh.
Sorry.
So
I apologize.
So good.
I apologize. I'm a little emotional.
It's good. Our studio's soundproof.
I broke my mouth.
Oh, you got
who do you like better, Notre Dame or Auburn? Well,
meaning in a game, if they matched up, he knows you like Notre Dame better, but if they matched up in a game, who wins?
Is Peyton Thornton the quarterback? Then I'm fine.
You're okay.
Then I'm okay.
Opie dopey.
I'm okay. If Peyton Thornton's the quarterback, Kevin, we're okay.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. I broke my mouse.
Did you?
I did.
Well, I mean, it's Alabama color anyway. So
it's all they had. I've had that thing for like 6-7 years, though.
Yeah, it's lasted. I'll be honest with you. Being at some of the games that we've done over the last few years, I'm surprised it's lasted this long.
Okay, I apologize. Back to Auburn.
Oh, my gosh. That's on me for asking the question, but I had to because some say it could be one of the worst losses.
I think it's the worst Notre Dame loss of my lifetime.
I wondered.
I don't think a lot of people are going to go to Alabama 2012, national championship game. But truly, Notre Dame was playing above our heads the whole year. We were not that good of a team. Okay. He expected to lose that game, right? We should have. But I think you think of Marshall last year or 2 years ago. That was a pretty tough loss too. But it's always been we tend to lose the games that we're looking ahead to other games. Not the case. We did not play very well. What's up, Daniel Harper? Kind of like Etowah, just suck. That's
Daniel,
not where we're at.
Go back and watch the show and watch Jerry's rant, please.
It's
brother, please.
Yeah. I think this is the worst loss in my lifetime of being a Notre Dame guy. To me, in my lifetime, and we've had some tough ones. We've had some ridiculous losses that never should have happened. Auburn Cal. Right, it happens. But yeah, I think this loss was,
it's tough. So Auburn, going in or New Mexico coming into Auburn? What happens right?
Well, who knows, right?
Yeah.
If you're talking purely talent, Auburn should win this game by 28 points.
Okay,
all right, they should. I know the line is down like 16, 15. Maybe less than that now. The Notre Dame line for that, we'll go to Purdue. Notre Dame line is down to 9. I don't blame them. I may even get on FanDuel's here and throw some money on Purdue.
You better go to Georgia and do it.
I have a voice over VPN, so nobody can tell who I'm going to in Gig City.
That's all you got to do. Just go back to Gig City. That's all you got to do.
Gig City. So Auburn better show up. They better. The Auburn faithful pretty upset, devastated with this. Marcus Freeman has a hard time getting them up for the bye game. Seemed like I know what you're saying. He does a really good job, Daniel, of the big game. Man, this dude is fiery. He's emotional. He gets them ready to go, and it looks like we overlook teams we shouldn't overlook. But you have to go to the captains of the team. You have to have some accountability in these players. We have two of the top coordinators in the country. Mike Denbrock was an all-everything, right? Every offensive stat at LSU last year. But you know what Mike Denbrock does not have at Notre Dame that he had at LSU?
What's that?
3 first-round draft picks, the Heisman Trophy winner, and 2 first-round
True.
wide receivers, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. That's what we do not have. But this is a week Auburn has to. They have to get it on track, come out with a big, big victory. Don't pull the starters unless, first of all, Peyton Thorne should never don an Auburn jersey again. Unless it's holding a clipboard on the sideline. That's just Jerry White's opinion. That's just my opinion.
Guys.
Yeah, sorry.
It's the best ever. We got to go back to having Jerry's rants.
No.
Yeah,
my heart.
If we do, things work out really well for you and I.
Anyway,
come on, Jerry.
I broke.
Would you please let it happen?
I broke my mouse.
So how are you working it?
It's not.
Just pride. You're trying to get
Look, I'm trying to use it. That's all I was doing.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. So New Mexico is 0-2. They're a 28-point underdog.
Yeah.
Coming into Saturday against New Mexico. 6 o'clock kickoff?
I think so, yeah.
6 o'clock. So do they
6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
So do they cover the 28 points?
There's no way I'm putting a freaking penny on Auburn to cover anything. You lose the cow and play.
I don't know if I've ever seen somebody so disappointed in the team that he does not care anything about.
I do. I mean, it's a job.
I know.
I'm invested. I'm invested in this. What else, Scott Coley?
So good. I hope so.
What's that?
I hope Notre Dame wins out. He says until USC.
Who knows how USC is going to be playing at the end of the year? Right now, I don't think we could beat SC. Anything, you know.
So I was listening to analysts 2 days ago. What's the day? Today's Thursday, so it'll be Tuesday, and they said that there is an outside shot, but it's a huge outside shot that Notre Dame could get that. But again, they would have to win convincingly every single game the rest of the year. Do you think that happens?
I think that.
I know it's not Notre Dame, but
I think
we don't have anything to talk about when it comes to Alabama and Auburn this week.
I think that Notre Dame has the talent and the schedule to be able to go, because Florida State is not who everybody thought Florida State was. We have some talented players. We're playing horrible, kind of like Etowah, right? As Daniel mentioned, look, Etowah's facing 7 straight losses.
Yeah.
And when he met, we were on a show, or it was Kevin's Corner last week, and Daniel was messaging some stuff on, and I was just reading it, and I hadn't realized at that point it was a 5-game losing streak. This point is a 6-game losing streak. Yeah. And playing Cherokee County, 7-game losing streak is what Daniel's saying.
Yeah.
See how I threw that on you, Daniel? I didn't say it myself.
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It's for the city, for those kids. Look, when you have Day Porter with 24 tackles, a freshman.
Day Porter or Day
Divine? No,
Porter.
Freshman.
Day Porter.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, Day Porter.
Divine's a junior. That's right.
I don't know what he is.
You're right.
Yeah, but it's the freshman Day Porter.
Yeah.
I think he's number 11.
Okay.
And Daniel, if you're at the game, please
28 tackles.
No, 24 last week
tackles.
against Hawks Bluff.
As a safety.
When your safety's making the tackles, you played secondary.
They getting way.
That means something ain't going right.
It's not good.
Something have messed up.
It's not good. Kevin Stevens liked playing, making those kind of tackles, but not many people got past.
Kevin Stevens just like being on the bottom of the pile.
That brother loved hitting people.
Throwing them jabs.
I don't think he wasn't.
Yeah,
he may have had a razor blade in there.
He probably did. But yeah, it's embarrassing. We need Edward to get where it is, and I'm not throwing off on Coach Peavy because the coaching staff needs time.
That's it.
You have to have time. But that's the one thing Italia doesn't give very much.
Nope.
We want to win.
I think they're going to give Peavy some time.
I think they need to.
You got to.
I think they have to. I think he's brought in some really good hires.
Yeah.
A
former NFL player from the Cowboys is there.
Who I know in reputation only. Those guys. I really don't know those guys, but I think Etowah needs to. Daniel, and you feel free to put your comments in here, man. Let me know your opinion. But
my wife was giving a tour of the elementary school because the coach, one of his assistants, that played at Dallas. So they're talking, and he's a big guy, right? So she thinks, well, he probably played college ball, obviously.
Yeah.
Troy, I think, is where he played. Is that right? Or
I don't know.
Anyway, they said, well, who's your favorite NFL team? Obviously, she says the Redskins, and his wife starts cracking up.
That's awesome.
And so when she got home, she goes, why were they laughing? I said, well, first of all, Redskins are terrible. Second of all, he played for Dallas. So, anyway, I thought that was pretty awesome. Fun stuff. Well,
Peyton Thorne, 487 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a QBR of 48.
he can't. It's going to be the rest of the day, y'all. I'm in for it all day long.
Hey, Daniel Harper said Hoax Bluff had them beat off the line. Who have ever thought a few years ago during the 3-year stretch of no region losses? Memories of how things used to be. Fully loaded, baby.
That's it, baby. All right, guys. Thank you to Fully Loaded for always taking care of us and bringing you the Alabama Auburn show. As we get into the season, we'll have a lot more to talk about.
And some cool special guests coming up.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun, man. I love it. Love this time of year. High school football show is so freaking awesome and so fun. And this time just being able to sit and talk with you and listen to you freak out. I hope, as an Alabama fan, you have many more freakouts as the weeks go on. So all I got to say.
Don't know if my heart can take it. Thank you, Riverview.
Thank you, Riverview. Dude, I'm getting sick again. I hope I don't get you sick. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Can you use my mic here? All I got to do is say Roll Tide. Jared's not going to.